Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today's video, 5 must-have players. 2 more days before the deadline is here. Hopefully your drafts are locked in. If not, don't worry, you still got enough time to get that sorted. Use this video as a sanity check to make sure you've got a couple of these players, because as far as I'm concerned, these are 5 key players for the opening game weeks of FPL this season. The first player I want to talk about is Trent Alexander-Arnold. At £7 million, he's taken a nice price drop from last season, where unfortunately he failed to deliver his usual standards. But this season, under slot, I think he's going to go back to the old Trent, and here's why. Under slot system, you can see I've highlighted in his heat map, he takes up 2 key positions for a fullback, one of them being the 10 position. So when he inverts in, normally when a right back or a left back inverts in, it says normally to make the team more solid in midfield and stop counter attacks. In this situation, slot uses Trent further up, and you can see from the last assist in the preseason game, that's how he got the ball right on there where I highlighted, flicks it in, goal. With his quality, if he receives the ball there, he's either going to get shots off or passes. So that's the first plus. The second area I've highlighted is where he's going to be underlapping and receiving the ball from the wingers. When he receives the ball there, again, someone of his quality will be looking up and cutting the ball back to the strikers. More assists. When you add set plays, it just gives Trent more routes to points, and he will be taking some free kicks and taking some corners. Again, just more opportunities for assists. And the last point I really like, 7 million. When I compare him to 7 million midfielders, I actually fancy Trent to beat the majority of them. You'll have to be very lucky to get the £7 million midfielder that outscores Trent this season. That's my take on it. Also, at 7 million, if he does flop or gets injured, you can drop down to any defender. Could be an Arsenal defender or a Man City defender. You've got no issues at all, and then utilize the money somewhere else. So it puts you in a good position. Unlike if you don't own him and he has a mad start to the season and goes up, it's going to be very difficult for you to get him. So if you start with him and you're not too content, he's not delivering for 7 million, you can sell him. The next player I'm going to talk about is Alexander Isak. Now I've got this feeling I'm not going to need to talk much about him because I think you've already got him. Type yes in the comments if you already own Alexander Isak. If you don't, I'm going to tell you why I think you should. The first thing I want to talk about is the fixtures. I mean, look how gorgeous they are. They start off with Southampton at home, Bournemouth away, Spurs at home, Wolves away, Fulham away. Perfect fixtures. I think from the first 5, you could actually captain him in 2 or 3 of these games if you fancy it. Another reason is the minutes. Wilson being injury prone. I've not seen another attacker come in transfer window. Of course, that could change. Newcastle could buy someone, but as of recording, he is the main guy, the main number 9, and assured minutes. We'll be playing at least 80 minutes every game, unless they're cruising and they can afford to take him off to rest him, but if they're not, he will be playing, and also takes the penalties. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is his price point. 8.5 million for a player that scored 21 goals, 4 assists in just 2,200 minutes. Unreal. Can you imagine if he reaches the 3,000 minutes for Newcastle? This guy could really deliver a huge season for us. For me, is someone you need to consider starting game week 1 with Isak in your team. Now, this player is coming from a different perspective. This is all about budget cheap players. Valentine Barco ticks that. One of the reasons I'm looking at players like him, because they're enablers. Their price is £4 million. We can have him on our bench, we can start him in certain games, and we need these players because we want to buy players like Palmer, Saka, Haaland, Salah. They're so expensive. We can't have everyone expensive. We need a couple of cheap players to allow us this, and Valentine Barco looks like he's going to be the perfect player to tick that box. Apart from his price and being a good enabler, I think the minutes are also going to be solid. Estupiñán, the only other guy that plays in that position, is injured and won't be back for at least a month, 2 months, which is more than enough for us to get good use out of Barco. Now we have to bear in mind, they could be looking in the transfer market, and if one does come in and it's a left back or a left wing back, we have to be careful. This dream could unfortunately be gone. So keep an eye on that. But as of recording, he's a perfect £4 million enabler. In fact, probably the best one. And the last thing I'll say about Barco is the attacking formation. He's either going to play left back where he still gets the bomb forward, or sometimes in a 3-4-3 left wing back, which gives him even more permission to join the attack. It's got potential for returns via assists. So it's a positive, and you can't ask for more, as I said, for a £4 million player. Another player you really need to consider if you're short on budget. If you want to drop a 4.5 million defender to Barco, it gives you 0.5. That can go a long way in certain positions. Next up is a juicy player, and it's Jota. But before we talk more about him, if you're enjoying the video, enjoying the content, do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and I can only do that with your help, so I'd really appreciate any support in any of my videos. Now back to Jota. £7.5 million for a Liverpool striker, and to make it even better, FPL have made him a midfielder, so we get those extra points. I mean, I don't even need to say no more. Really, right now, it's just log into FPL and put him into your team. But I will tell you more. Liverpool's fixtures are incredible. 6 gorgeous fixtures to open the season, and it looks like Jota should get the majority of them. Don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting him to play 90 minutes when you have Gakpo and Nunes sitting on the bench, but with Jota, if we can get 60, 65 minutes from him every week at 7.5 million, I think we take that. Well, I do. I'm more than comfortable, and I think the majority of you will be considering him, especially if you want to go without Salah. He gives you perfect Liverpool coverage. And Jota is just a ruthless finisher. I mean, they call him Jota the Slotter, and there's a reason for that. Look at his minutes and look at the goal returns. The minutes are not great, we know this. He has been injury prone, but look, last season, 1,100 minutes, 10 goals, 17 returns in those minutes. Season before, again, only played 1,100 minutes, 7 goals, 4 assists. So it tells you, when he's playing, his ratio is excellent. We just need him on the pitch, and he looks fully fit. He even played a couple of 90-minute matches in pre-season, which is a rarity when you're talking about Jota. But at that price point, for me, he is locked in my team. Let me know if he's locked in your team. And the last player I want to talk about is Gvardiol. Last season, he had an incredible finish to the season. If you did own him, you was very lucky and enjoyed those green arrows. I went Kyle Walker, which really punished me because he just kept on scoring, assisting, and clean sheets. This season, I'm not making that mistake. I want to start the season with him in my team. Manchester City will have the 2nd best clean sheets in the Premier League. I'm assuming Arsenal will be the best. But if he can keep 15 clean sheets, and last season Manchester City kept 13, but I reckon they'll keep more clean sheets this season. And when you add the attacking positions he takes up, I know pre-season he's played a couple of games centre back, but I think that's more due to the players not returning from international football. Another plus of Gvardiol is the attacking positions he was taking up last season. Now, it remains to be seen if Pep's going to do the same system and allow him that free reign he had last season. If he does, we're in for a treat here, because apart from the clean sheets, he's got potential to get attacking returns and not just assists, I'm talking goals. Now, in the Charity Shield, he was a bit more reserved, although he did have a beautiful shot around the 66th minute, which just went wide. So it shows you he has still got it in him, but City don't look like they're moving smoothly at the moment. Within the next couple of games though, I'd like to think they will get up there. And if he does get into that flow, I want him in my team. And the fixtures, when you look at Manchester City's fixtures, they're pretty good. Yes, there's some reds there which stick out. Of course, there's going to be a couple of difficult fixtures, but look at the sea of green, where if Gvardiol plays those games, you'd like to think there's going to be clean sheets and potential attacking returns. For me, £6 million, I think he's an excellent player to start the season with, especially if you're not wildcarding early, because the long-term fixtures are pretty good. I think he's going to be one of those steady players you leave in your team and just collect those points week in, week out. So for me, he's another player I think he's a must-have at the start of the season. I hope you enjoyed the video, but more importantly, I hope you found the video useful. Get in the comments and let me know, out of these 5 players, how many of them are on your current draft. I'm really intrigued to know your management style. Also, before you jump off, like and subscribe and share the video. I really appreciate any support. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers and I can only do that with your help. And the last thing I'm going to say to help you for game week 1, I recorded a video with FPL Harry. You might know him, who's an elite FPL manager, and I think this video is going to help you start the season very, very strong. Check it out.